Today we're going to talk about the town of Crozet in western Albemarle County, 12 miles west of Charlottesville. It is very attractive for a lot of reasons, so we're going to tell you about all of them, and let's get into it right now. Back in the 1800s, there was an impetus to connect rail travel from east of the Blue Ridge to west of the Blue Ridge and the Valley of Virginia. Okay, so the Valley of Virginia produced a lot of food stuff, wheat, grains of all sorts. It was really the breadbasket of Virginia. Actually, it was a breadbasket of the Confederacy during the Civil War. So how to get that across the Blue Ridge Mountains into the rest of the state and to where the troops were, and to the ships that would take it by sea to other ports, and thence by land by other trains. But I digress. Claudius Crozet was a French engineer who came over and figured out that the best way to connect rail from east of the Blue Ridge Mountains to the west was to tunnel under the mountains, specifically Afton Mountain. So there is the Claudius Crozet Tunnel, or the Afton Mountain Tunnel, that's there now. It is no longer used, but it is a great hiking facility, tourist attraction, because people they can go through the tunnel. They can walk through and see how it was done, what's there, and actually get through to the other side. So it's a nice little tourist attraction. If you're ever in that area, look it up. Back before they had the railroads, the only way they got stuff from one place to another was overland trails, so stuff was piled up in wagons and whatnot, or it went by water. So this is why you have places like Scottsville, which is on an oxbow on the James River, south of Charlottesville. And Scottsville we've talked about in another video. Nice little town, kind of cute, kind of quaint, a lot going for it, and a nice laid-back atmosphere, easy living, that sort of stuff. And it's in Albemarle County, close to Charlottesville. So if you've got to be in a high-paced city for work, but don't want to live in the high-paced city, well, there you go. Same with Crozet. The only thing is that Crozet came about later because of the rail line that was run there through the mountains over into the Valley of Virginia to get goods, farm goods over to the markets. So anyway, enough about the history of Crozet. So for the longest time, Crozet was just this sleepy little town. It's about 12 miles west of Charlottesville, and it's nestled at the foot of Afton Mountain, which is part of the Blue Ridge. Right now, Interstate 64 and US Route 250 will go across Afton Mountain and get you over into Waynesboro in that area. But for the longest time, it was just this sleepy little town. I think the biggest employer was Morton Frozen Foods. They had a packing facility there, and I remember as a kid going, my mom would drag us to the outlet store. We'd go in there, we'd buy up the surplus. She'd fill up coolers full of frozen food, dinners, and we'd take them home and put them in the freezer. So that was kind of Crozet, and not a whole lot going on there. Well, fast forward to the early 2000s, when the developers came in and they were looking for places to build, because Charlottesville, as always, it's growing. It's outgrowing its boundaries, really. Anyway, Charlottesville is expanding mostly to the north and a little bit to the west. But the western development, you've got pockets in Ivy, and then it kind of stops there, and then you go even further west and you hit the little town of Crozet, only it's not so little anymore. Like I was saying, in the early 2000s, we got the Old Trail development, which came along before the market crash of 2008, 2009, but it had established itself enough with local builders. These are guys who operate in the Charlottesville area, but they've got enough crews, they would do 50 to 100 homes a year, and they're sort of on the high end. Old Trail got developed. That's the big development in Crozet at this point in time, and it's on the western side of town. So that is growing. It's still being built, still being developed. They've got a golf course, they've got a swimming pool, they've got tennis and basketball courts. There are a lot of amenities there for the the homeowners in Old Trail. A little bit of retail, maybe some professional services, but that's all right there, self-contained. And what really attracts people is you're right there. you've got a close-up view of the mountains. It's almost like a front row seat. So the views are spectacular. And from just about any house in there, you can see some part of the mountains. So that's Old Trail. And then other smaller places have built up around the edge of not Old Trail. Other places have built up around the edge of Crozet. The old Morton frozen foods plant is now the home to Star Hill Brewery. So you can go, you can have a pint, enjoy yourself. They've got entertainment there, TV screens and whatnot. They may even have some live entertainment from time to time. And Star Hill distributes its product through the usual distributors, but Star Hill Brewery is Crozet is famous for that. If you get down on Main Street, there are all these little shops. One of my favorites is Crozet Pizza. You know, it's made to order and it's custom. You know, you get the usual stuff, but it's really, really good pizza, and it's just a good place to go. You know, the townspeople go there, people from outside go there. There's coffee shops, there's pastry shops there, libraries right around the corner. The nice thing about Crozet is no matter what neighborhood you're in, there's plenty of walking space, so you could walk down the sidewalks in the neighborhood, you could walk down the sidewalks on Main Street, and it's real easy to get to what the town has to offer. Okay, so yes, there are older homes in there, and they're surrounded by newer developments. Also in Crozet is the Miller School. It's a private school. Crozet also has a full complement of elementary, middle, and high school. Western Albemarle is there. So it's a very nice community in that you can find what you need shopping-wise, grocery-wise, school-wise, activity-wise. There's a lot of that. And then you're 15, 20 minutes from downtown Charlottesville. So it's real easy to get to on the Interstate 64, or if you don't want to take the interstate, 250 goes into town, and it's a nice drive, straight road, a few hills, but again, nice scenery for the area. So that's Crozet, very desirable, large development. That's Old Trail, some smaller ones like Western Ridge and others around that area on the east side of town. So a lot of possibilities in types of housing, whether it's a townhome, duplex, or high-rise, or even single-family detached. Oh yeah, one other thing I'll throw in there. In addition to Star Hill, we've got King Family Vineyards, which is right on the edge of town. And close by, if you want to head west on 250 before you go up Afton Mountain, you can go down Route 151, and now you're on the Blue Ridge Trail, and it has breweries, wineries, and distilleries there. So plenty of places to take your friends when they visit and entertain them. Lots of good restaurants around, lots of libations depending on what your preference is, and a great place to live, nice and relaxed, and did I mention before, gorgeous views of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Anyway, that's just a little snapshot of Crozet. If you like this video, we have others on small towns around the greater Charlottesville area and communities like Old Trail and Western Ridge. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you next time.